Last topic, the debate. Better career, Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, or the Nature Boy Ric Flair?
Come on, man. Come on, man. You know it's only going to be Rick. We know that it's like this, man. Out of the two great evils, I look at Rick as the one that's like, man, I know for a fact he's had the better wrestling career, man, with the better matches. It feels like the thing about Hogan, he was wrestling's first great icon, man. Like, you know, just coming into like, you know, as coming into his modern age, right? And on top of that, he was gonna have great matches for you to sell to people, but he was never gonna have like a great match. In fact, a lot of his matches are lackluster. But Hogan's great at playing to the crowd. Well, but Rick was really out there, kind of just, you know, out there in every territory, or if not in every WCW event, carrying it and just doing it his best, man. And then on top of that, it's like, I guarantee you, if Rick just, like, we'll say for instance, he just wanted to stay in WWE for whatever reason, WCW wouldn't have been around. It would just been Sting. Like, Rick has faced damn near everybody and he's had a phenomenal match. And it's like, if you want to see how a heel should be, go watch Rick. You want to see how an underdog should be, go watch Rick in the Royal Rumble. If you want to see Rick, you know, just be like the head of a stable with the Four Horsemen, no matter what iteration, Rick is that guy. He can sell a promo. In fact, you know how legendary he is? He is in music videos. They do his catchphrase in locker rooms, man. He is in wrestling history. He is a legend. I'm like, bro, Ric Flair ain't never going out of style. You know he's one of the hype up videos at the Jaguar Stadium. You know, right?
It makes sense. It's Ric Flair. Makes sense.
Yeah, man. It's like, and then on top of that, Flair country used to be the Carolinas, man. You couldn't go in there with any disrespect with Flair. Ric Flair was pretty much God down there. It's like, Ric Flair to me is one of the most important figures in wrestling that'll ever be. And on top of that, you look at how, if we want to tell the story of wrestling or like how it went down in the Americas, Rick is at the forefront because he's been there and damn near every generation when it comes to like wrestling really picking up steam. And then on top of that, he's always there. He's just showing everybody how it's done. And you want to pick Hogan, that's cool. But Hogan in WCW, I feel like just hurt everything about Hogan. He was barely wrestling, barely showing up, barely putting on even a match. I was watching how he was going up against Roddy Piper. How is it that Roddy beats you, but then we're going to use a technicality and then be all like, well, now I'm still champion next week. Like, what?
I remember
it's
that.
like, Hogan, it's like, oh my God, man, I can't stand Hogan. When it comes to letting him book his own matches or letting him do him, it's like, God dang it, man. I feel like if you like Hogan, it's like you just like the big, you know, icon kind of guy, the big seller. Because God dang it, man. Matter of fact, defend Hogan, man. Just tell me why you like Hogan so much.
I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting just for this moment. The one moment right here. I've been waiting for this. Hey, Ric Flair, great wrestler for sure. Hall of Fame wrestler, the better wrestler between the two. But if we're talking about Hulk Hogan and the Hulkamaniacs, then it's this moment right here. Fight for the rights. A real American. I don't know if I'm a real American, but fight for one. Come on now. Then the music hit. Come on, John. And I'm going to just let this play in the background while I talk about Hogan real quick.
Yes, man.
Hulk Hogan was the biggest babyface in the company. And then the man also became the biggest heel in the company. You can't say that about too many characters in wrestling history. We're not talking about them as a wrestler. We're not talking about that because Ric Flair is a better wrestler. But we're talking about better career, better character. I'm choosing Hulk Hogan. That man led the NWO. That man led the NWO, which also led to the Monday Night Wars. WCW was dominating the WWE because of that man, because that man went to NWO and he turned heel. He led a group. He led the Monday Night Wars. Let's not forget, he body slammed Andre the Giant as being the All-American Hulk Hogan. He inspired the world. Hulk Hogan was The Rock before The Rock. The Rock obviously has taken it to the next level with Hollywood, but Hogan was in movies back then. Hogan was not only the biggest babyface in the company of the WWE, but who career would you rather have? Would you have just Ric Flair's? Great wrestler. I would rather
not appear in Three Little Ninjas. How about that?
Oh, okay. But would you rather have Ric Flair, who just was, Ric Flair is a legend. Don't get me wrong. But when we're talking about like wrestling characters and we're talking about career-wise, Hogan he's one of the very few that can say, I was the biggest babyface and I was the biggest heel at one point in my career. Not too many people can say that. Like, how many people can actually say that? There's not many. Stone Cold, people couldn't even hate Stone Cold. It was just weird when he turned heel. It was like, we don't want to boo you.
He was the heel, and yet he was still beloved. I think the only person who can come close to saying that is Jericho. Because Jericho is like one of those guys who can play up being the good guy and the bad guy very well. Another guy who can do it is Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. Shawn Michaels, when he came back, was like a pure babyface after his match with Triple H. He was like pure babyface. People loved him. And then back when he was pure heel, when he went up against Jericho, if I think about it, no matter what Shawn does, he's cheered. Actually, as I think about it, whether he's the scumbag or the hero, god dang, there are not many people that can actually do both well.
That's what I'm saying. Hulk Hogan did both, and then he was the leader of a legendary group, the NWO. You know how big the NWO was back then? I
also know they were the reason why WCW fell apart.
They was the reason why they built them up, though, too.
They put everything in one basket for the NWO, and then it fell apart. Too many people joined, and on top of that, the storylines made no sense. Do you remember one of the worst matches in WCW when Kevin Nash laid down for Hogan?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
After he beat Goldberg.
I remember that. But see, here's the thing. That ain't Hogan's fault. At least not all of it's his fault. Hogan built up the WCW company to be even better than the WWE at one point. And then they just had terrible booking. They just kept adding to, because the NWO was so big, they kept just trying to center everything around the NWO, and that's on whoever was writing. That was on the writers. Of course, Hogan had a lot of control at that time too, but that's because they were a bad company. They just end up running it to the ground.
I feel like you just disrespected Flair and Sting right there with that statement. God dang, man.
Sting, it was great too. Don't get me wrong. Sting was great. Flair was great, but Flair didn't like his time in WCW. He felt like after a while they just threw him to the side, like he was old and washed up. But during that time period, who was running the company? It was Hulk Hogan. Like, come on now. Like, I gotta play this song too. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on
You're gonna play Voodoo Child? Come on.
Voodoo Child.
Oh my god.
Come on.
God dang it.
NWO. Don't you forget, Hulk Hogan had the entrances too. From the All-American to now Voodoo Child with NWO, black and white. Come on now, drop the beat. Come on, man. Hogan was on a different level, dude. I'm trying to tell you. He wasn't a better wrestler. I would never make that argument he was a better wrestler. Ric Flair was definitely one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Now, if we're just talking about wrestling, it's Ric Flair, end of the day.
Hey, man. Ric Flair gave a better promos.
Ooh.
You can't deny that.
Ooh.
Come on now, man.
I'm going to leave that to the people. Hogan or Ric Flair? Who gave the better promos? Hogan would give great promos too. I don't know. That's tough. Ric Flair had great promos too, though. Ooh.
Come on, man.
Ooh.
Come on, man. There's a reason why we get to see Ric Flair with the Migos and we don't see what's it called? Hogan do anything.
There's a lot of other reasons why. There's a lot of other why. We ain't gonna talk about what happened after Hogan retired. We not talking about that. Like, it's some other stuff. That's the reason why we don't see Hogan with the Migos. Back in the day, though, people wanted to be Hulk Hogan. People wanted to be Ric Flair. They both were up there. That's why it's a good debate. But I'm like, wrestling-wise, I give it to Rick. Better career? If it was me, I'd rather be Hulk Hogan. I'd rather be the guy that I was your top baby face at one point in time that ran the company. Then I went to your rival company and made them better than you because I became the top heel that started the NWO.
Hey, man, I remember when you tried that with TNA and everything went downhill.
Yeah, you can't do it 3 times, Hogan. You did it once. You did it twice. You can't do it 3 times, Hogan. You ain't gonna better do it with TNA. WWE became too big at that point. TNA was never gonna be able to do that. So.
Hey, all I gotta say is there's only one styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing son of a gun. And I got a hard time holding these gators down.
Nah, Ric Flair Promos was on a whole nother level, though. I may have to give that to Ric Flair as I think about it. You just reminded me Ric Flair was going in with those promos. Like, come on now. He was going off. He said, he was like, you want to ride on, what is that, Space Mountain? He was talking to all the women. That dude was going off. He was going off. WWE needs that. We need a new Ric Flair. That's all I've been trying to say. We need people that's just gonna give us some good entertainment, man. Like, these characters is kind of becoming stale. We need something new.
I mean, I think it's really just not a freedom allowing people to just do what they do. Because we know in the WWE, a lot of people are kind of conscripted or templated to be in a certain way, man. And, you know, John Cena kind of said it. A lot of guys are either scared to take a risk or there's no avenue for you to go to if you do take a risk and fail. And I feel like now, since AEW is around, there's guys who are allowed to take a risk and fail if the situation calls for it. And they can go to AEW and just keep getting better. I feel like for this situation, it's all itself when it comes to, like, you know, wrestlers. I feel like you got to take a chance and be the man. You know what I'm saying? If you get fired, it's whatever. You just go to AEW or go to Ring of Honor or go to New Japan and keep getting better. Because I feel like when you get to the WWE, your plan, I guess the plan should be make a name for yourself or make it to where people know who you are because they are the biggest platform for wrestling. And then go somewhere else and keep getting better.
Keep getting better. That's the key, man. Let us know in the comment section who y'all think won that debate. Who do y'all got, Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan? Who had the better career? Before we go, we hit every topic, man. Got a few words for the people?
Shoot, man. Only thing I gotta say for a few words for the people, man, is just to make sure if you got a relationship in this world, man, and you care about that person, man, make sure you try to keep that relationship strong, man, because you only get so many good family members and you only get so many good friends, man. Try to make sure that you spend every moment and make sure they have the greatest moments with you, man.
And I completely agree. For more wrestling news, rumors, debates, and opinions, make sure to check out WrestlingRepublic.com. along with @WrestlingRepublic on Instagram and YouTube. We are the People's Podcast. Make sure you check up on your people, love your people, and make sure y'all shout out one time for the glorious one, Bobby Roode, because he deserves a way out of what he's in right now. And that's how we're going to end it off. We are the People's Podcast. We love the people. And before we head on out, let me play this song for y'all. We're going to play this song on the way out. We're going to enjoy it too. We're going to do it. Glorious for Bobby Roode one more time. Come on now. Come on now. Take it in.
Oh my God.
We are the People's Podcast. We see y'all next week. We out.